What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Everybody wants to fucking laugh. What is so fucking funny?
Queen of the Horse!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Random Ramblings. Is that better?
Yeah. No, it's just...
Welcome back to Random Ramblings, where we will talk about episode 2 of the case against Adnan Syed, In Between the Truth. I really thought this one was like 1,000 times better. What do you guys think?
I did think this one was a lot better than last week's.
I thought it was pretty good, yeah. I liked it.
I did. The first episode got 7.3 on IMDb, which I can kind of understand because, I mean, if you didn't listen to the podcast, you don't really know too much.
Yeah.
But if you did listen to the podcast, you pretty much knew everything they talked about.
Yeah, it was definitely set for people that listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
I thought this episode was a lot better. Went into more detail. Did a lot of stuff
Absolutely.
about Jay that wasn't in the podcast.
Well, and I thought it was cool that they actually had the footage of like the state calling the witnesses, like Jin Pussy or whatever. Oh, what is so funny?
You just called her Jen Pussy.
I said Pussy.
After you called her Jen Pussy.
I did not say Jin Pussy.
Did he?
This is on film, and when you're wrong, I expect you to fucking say that you're wrong.
You
All right, here, we'll do two cuts. Oh, man, I was wrong. I was fucking right. He said pussy.
I think he
Chances are those are both going in.
I think he might have slipped a pussy in there.
So we start out. My initial thoughts. They said it at the beginning.
They said your initial thoughts in the beginning of the episode?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. No, in this country, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. I don't think that that's the case with this trial or with this, situation or this murder investigation.
You don't think he was proven guilty, Adnan?
I don't. I personally think it's Jay that did it.
What's his motive?
Jealousy? I don't know.
I don't think there necessarily has to be a motive for killing.
Obviously, I have a bunch of notes written down, like 3 pages of notes, but like I just stopped taking notes because you guys were like, "Oh, I'm done." I'm like, "Fuck, I have 20 more minutes." I could probably watch for another hour if I keep taking notes. But so like, I know that it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but like he's been arrested like 20 times in his adult life.
Those were after the fact though, but yeah.
Yeah, but he's obviously, it's not like he just, all of a sudden he became a criminal. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually,
Yeah, at some point you have to become a criminal, though.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, and then they have, his acquaintance or whatever, that Chris guy, the other black guy, he was like, oh, yeah, he would absolutely, like, throw you under the bus and switch places with you in a heartbeat.
I think he's a complete dirtbag.
Yeah, I partly agree with Hess. I think Jay was involved. I don't know if he did it 100%. I'm in the middle. Like, you think Adnan did it. Hess thinks Adnan didn't do it. I could see it both ways.
I'm not 100% that I think he did it. I lean towards it. There's a few things like that he just doesn't remember anything. It's just weird.
That is a little weird, especially like when it comes to this like.
It's also convenient. It's also convenient that you can. So like, they're going a couple different ways. They're kind of saying the cops are framing him. Where if you listen to the podcast, they don't say that. They say that the cops did everything that they should have. And then like, if it's just convenient that we're going to frame this guy. Oh, and he just happens to not remember what he's doing then. That's the part that it doesn't get me.
Right, but the thing is like this completely reminds me of The Wire. Like there's a part in here I even wrote it down.
Oh, I totally
when they're like making all the arrests and like just trying to fucking like change the way they police because they found 20 dead bodies in that park over a 5-year span or whatever. Like it totally reminds me of The Wire. And like when, I can't remember the guy's name in the show, but he like takes him and locks him up in the fucking
Chris.
In the ghetto where like nobody goes.
Yeah.
So it's like okay, like.
I mean, yeah, it helps that it literally is in Baltimore at the same time.
So like exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because, like, they, I know you've watched a lot of...
All right, I don't know where we left off because our internet went out in the middle of us talking, but we're back now. So, Hess, why does it remind you of The Wire?
I mean, like they, you know, it's like the same thing. What is it? Season 4 that they do that? 3?
Yeah, 4, I think. 4, and then they find him in. Yeah, 4, I guess. I don't know. Like, it's been a long time.
Okay, yeah.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
All right, so we're back again. I say we skip the Wire talk because that fucks up the internet.
Okay.
So run test of the Wire. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. So yeah. What's next, Tess?
I said that I found it like kind of insane and like crazy that Adnan's lawyer had to be sequestered and then he wasn't allowed to see Adnan basically when he got to the jail.
Yeah, all that lawyer stuff was very odd.
I was actually surprised that he let that happen. I don't know. I mean, obviously he.
Yeah, when it happened, I turned to him and I go, Saul Goodman would have never let that happen.
Right.
And I said, I said, or Kathleen Zellner.
Yeah, because she was making a murderer and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that was odd. It was also odd that they show him brushing his hair before they spoke to him.
There was a lot of things in this documentary so far. The diary thing,
Quaker,
fucking weird.
Quaker oatmeal guy.
They're like the diary thing, that's weird. Him brushing his hair. The end, they're filming a fly. There's a lot of choices in this that are odd to me. Like not even about the doc, just random things they throw in there.
The fly was odd.
It's odd.
I mean, like it's just weird that they said, oh, he has to request to see you, which I'm pretty sure is bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. I don't know anything about that stuff, but it seemed
I
bullshit
obviously
to me.
don't know. I don't know law, but I mean, like he said.
Can you imagine if Hess was your lawyer?
No.
You'd be fucked.
Why is that?
You just said you don't know law.
Yeah, well, first I
like you guys do.
Well, no. I'd be fucked if I was my lawyer too.
I wouldn't. I'm pretty cool.
Yeah, whatever. He's all defensive. I know some law.
Drum King, Attorney at Law.
I watched Matlock.
Drum King, Attorney at Law.
I watched Law and Order.
I watched 3 seasons of Saul Goodman.
Who shakes with their left hand?
A guy that's holding a mic with his right hand.
Wow.
Interesting.
I did like this episode a lot more than the first one.
Yeah, me too, big time.
A little surprised. I did listen to all the podcast episodes.
You listened to all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on episode 3 of the podcast, and he comes in the other day, and he's like, I listened to the entire thing. I was like, what the fuck? Would you, like, sit in a bubble and listen to them all? And he's like, that's all I listened to.
That's all I listened to all week.
It's good stuff. Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. I certainly didn't think that it was... I watched it so that I would know more when we would do this.
Right.
I'm not sure if I do know more when we do that. I mean, I know that the for instances, but they certainly didn't solve anything on that damn podcast.
No,
I think that's one of the biggest criticisms of that podcast.
Yeah.
Well, but they weren't trying to solve anything.
I mean, in a way, they
weren't.
are.
They're not really.
They're trying to prove him innocent, which is solving the case.
Another trial, so they can present new evidence. But they're not trying to solve the murder or solve the crime.
No, they're trying to prove his innocence.
But I think in a way, proving his innocence is.
I got news for
you.
Without solving the murder, you're not proving his innocence.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way. I don't think.
I mean, obviously we're gonna get out of order here, but like, the only people that were fingerprinted were Jay and Adnan. Like nobody else.
Well, I mean, who else would they have? Like,
yeah.
I heard them say that, and I was thinking, well, there was not like other than the guy that found the body.
The current boyfriend.
But
he was at work.
Yeah, he was at work.
Oh, was he? Okay.
And
I mean, I know his mom is his boss.
Yeah.
But I imagine if you work at a lens crafter, fucking people see you and you have to punch a clock.
Like the only other person I could think they would have fingerprinted was the weirdo that found the body.
That guy definitely has done something.
Yeah.
Well, even
he might not have killed her, but he killed somebody.
Even that surveyor guy was like, yeah, that just because it's so far deep back into the woods, you know. He goes, I don't buy that.
What's funny is in the third episode of the podcast, because I listened to that today while we were at the gym, and the girl in the podcast goes, when she walked out there, she goes, oh, I could totally see someone walking out here and like trying to pee and hide from it. Like it totally makes sense. You can see the cars still and all that. And then in the show, the guy's like, no way. And I was like, oh, they're kind of conflicting here.
Yeah, and they said no way until they got there, and then when they get there, like, oh yeah, it's 125.
Yeah.
9 feet,
although
not that far.
In the show, when they were walking out there and measuring it, it seemed a lot farther than the way they describe it on the podcast.
Yeah, and who knows if it was the same 20 years ago.
That's true.
You know.
Well, he like the log, it's still there and everything. Like,
I was a little surprised by that. Like it seemed like it was the same after that long.
I was surprised at first, but then I'm like, I mean, what are they gonna do? Like move the fucking log? Like it's a big log.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
It's just going to sit there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, then, like, the other thing, too, the other stuff, like, no DNA, like, nothing from like Adnan's like clothing or anything were found on the body.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
Yeah, that's why I think there's not enough evidence. I think either way to say he did it or say he didn't do it.
I mean,
To me,
except you have this weirdo saying that he.
Yeah, other than the one guy saying that I helped him do it, which is like
why
weird.
Why didn't he go to jail?
I asked him that. He's like because he went against him.
Yeah, because he testified against him.
Yeah.
So he got his. I mean,
amnesty or whatever.
He got arrested, but he didn't get sentenced any jail time.
Yeah.
So maybe it's karma that's caught up with him, and that's why he's been arrested 20 times. Because he lied.
I definitely think that he lied,
like,
but I don't know if he lied about the entire story.
But like, could you imagine, like, I mean, and obviously this is all just speculation, but like, so let's just say that Jay did it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like he confessed to the cops, doesn't get any jail time, and like he actually did it. Like, could you? Like, that's just crazy to think about. Like, blows my fucking mind.
I also don't. I don't think that would happen. Like, could you? I mean, I guess it could have happened. You can't say it couldn't happen. But like, if you kill someone, are you gonna go to the cops and say, "Yeah, I helped it"? I mean, maybe it's the perfect thing.
Because he like it is. You might, if you thought, "Oh, this is the perfect plan," blame it on this guy, and then I'll get away with it. I might get arrested, but like I'm not gonna go to jail. He's getting blamed for it. He did the murder and all that.
But then,
there's also a slim chance that doesn't work.
Yeah. So
it's weird.
But then, like, his ex-girlfriend, that Nikisha that they interview at the end, says that, like, he never served any jail time. Like, when the private investigators are doing all their stuff, like, they're like, he never seems to serve any jail time or, like,
maybe every crime he committed, he's like, no, it was this guy. He just got away with it every single time.
Maybe he borrows someone's car and his cell phone every time.
Yeah, same. They're like, it's weird. He has the same plan every time, but it always works.
I mean, like, it's just weird. Like, that's who I thought. That's who I think did it, and that's who I've always thought did it.
I do think he was involved. I can't see he did it. Like I feel like if it did happen with Adnan, it was with that guy. But then part of me does think that maybe Jay did it by himself and blamed Adnan.
When they're interviewing Jin, like, you know, Jin says that she picked him up at the mall, but then Jay says no. She picked me up at my house.
That's another one that I was like, why is he lying about that? Because he's admitting about doing the thing, but he's lying about that.
It's so all over the place, doesn't add up. Makes me think that he's lying about the entire thing, and he can't remember what he said. Because his Rabia, Adnan's attorney, says that like his story changed from the first time he was interviewed to when he was sitting on the witness stand.
Well, yeah, they even made us listen to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like. So it just to me it makes it seem like he's a liar, kind of like you put on the Dr. Phil little snippet in the last podcast. Today we'll talk about how to spot a liar. Dickwad.
I guess it does. I guess in that case it takes one to know one.
Oh, damn!
And the camera just died, so I got to switch the battery. Man, this is gonna be a fucking fun one to edit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, maybe we should just start over.
That's almost worse.
Yeah. I'm kidding. No, so, like, you know, Jay's ex says that, like, she feels that he knows how to manipulate the justice system or, manipulate the courts or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it happens. Like, I lived it. I know, I'm not going to say names and because I don't want to, whatever. But, like, I know someone who manipulated the courts and, fucked me. So, like, I get it. Like, it pisses me off. And, I mean, I don't know. It's just crazy to think. I mean, it really boggles my mind.
You know what it all comes down to, though, is that he can't defend himself because he can't say where he was between. So, if that girl that saw him in the library, if they can really prove that, that'll help him. But like
there's no proof because even in I don't know if they'll bring it up on here, but on the podcast, like they went to go get the tapes and all that, and they said they recycle them throughout the week, and they didn't talk about this till like months later.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of I feel like stupid people in this that if they would have just done shit in the beginning the right way, and she's like, oh, I didn't realize like Asia, she sounds really stupid in this in the podcast.
But see, the other part of it is I think that they just wanted to solve it. Like, they just wanted the murder off the books. They wanted it solved, so they just ran with whatever they had.
I can see that because there's I don't know if you watched Making a Murderer, because there's just stuff like that too. But then there's also when they run into things where the person can't defend themselves, and then that really helps them being like, oh, well, it's probably him anyway, so we'll just fudge this here and there and get this done. But he probably did it because he can't defend himself.
That's true. I was gonna say, but like that serial had an investigator look at all the evidence,
right?
And he said they did everything right. He said he didn't see.
They didn't. There's no way.
I mean, why is there no way?
Why is there no way?
I mean, they didn't test the inside of her trunk in her car. Like, her car to me is huge evidence.
I guess that is true. There's some things like that, yeah.
Like, they didn't run forensics on her clothing. They didn't run forensics inside of her trunk where Jay said that her body was. Like, why wouldn't you do that? Like, why wouldn't you test for, like, DNA or any kind of
I guess so at the point
evidence
that you
could fucking prove.
The only reason I can see why they wouldn't do that is because they already had Adnan in custody.
It's because they fucking ran with what they have, and they had a confession from Jay saying that Adnan did it and that he helped him. So in their eyes, they didn't have to do anything.
I think you just explained it right there. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, that's why. That's their thinking. They're like, it's less work for us. We got the guy.
Exactly.
Fuck it.
And to me, and it's just instinct. But the two detectives, the two white guys, not the black detective, but like they just seem crooked. Like they just seem like they seem like
they don't seem crooked to me at all.
They seemed like dickheads to me. I don't know about crooked, but they seemed like dickheads.
To me, they seem like detectives who think Adnan did it. If you take that,
exactly. And I feel like that they think he did it, and there was no changing their mind, no matter what.
I could see that, but that doesn't make them crooked though.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're not out like taking bribes for fucking to say Adnan did it.
But it's not their job to think that they have the story correct and then just run with it. Their job is to investigate and detect and make sure they have the right guy. In my opinion, is that they did not do that.
But I think they were told.
But I think in their opinions they think they did it right. And they think they got the right guy and all that.
But that's not their job. Like you,
it is
it's
their
like
job.
That's not really.
I mean,
it's just like
having a theory on a TV.
Hold on.
Okay,
well, you're going nuts.
I've known Nick for how long? 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so like if somebody came to you that you didn't know and said, and take this seriously. Hess murdered somebody.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this during the show. I was thinking because they showed the kids at the school and they're like, he was such a nice guy. I can't believe.
Like he's a straight A student.
I think anybody is capable of murder. If someone came to me and honestly said, I'd be a little shocked if they said Hess killed someone, but part of me would be like, I mean, maybe.
I don't buy his nice guy routine.
You don't. So you think that's all just a front?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do think he's a smooth talker. I think it's a bit of both.
I don't. Like I said, I'm not 100% that he did it, but I'm not 100% that he didn't do it. I think I lean more towards that he did it, and I think that.
So what do you like, 60-40?
No, probably
70-30?
80-20 maybe.
See, I'm 80-20 that he didn't do it.
I'm 50-50 on it completely.
I just think there's a lot of stuff that he's like, well, no, see, this is it, and this is, I just did this, and he just knows what to say, and like, I don't know what I was doing. It was just an average day to me, but yet when they talked to that Don guy, when the police called him, they talked to him on serial, he's like, I'm the boyfriend. What was I doing that day? Okay, I went to work. I did this. And he like totally tried to figure out what he was doing.
He does seem. It's weird to me when people are like that. Like they're too calm in this situation, and he seems very calm.
I just don't buy it, and maybe it could just. I'm not saying I'm right by any stretch of the imagination. Mm-hmm. There's something off on him with me that it seems like he's too good to be true.
The only thing I think that's like going for him, I guess, with not knowing that shit is like by this time you'd think, like at least if it was me, if I was lying this long and he just lost the thing to do it like retrial or whatever, I'd be like, yeah, fuck it, I did it.
I don't see.
Like this long lying. You think maybe something would come out.
I don't think he would do that only because it seems like he would let down a community. There's too many people fighting for him. He would look like a fucking moron.
I guess maybe.
And this way he can still be kind of like a martyr. But that's just me.
I mean, we covered a lot of this stuff over the 20 arrests for Jay, Jen says she picked up Jay and Adnan in front of the mall, and then basically I just say Jay's story to me doesn't add up, and Hayes' car like is the big ringer for me, like that, that points me and leads me to believe that he didn't do it. Like, and that's like the biggest piece of evidence.
Well, I guess we'll see when their grass test comes back.
Yeah, well, and
that
then,
was a
and
little
then, like,
weird. Like, it makes sense. That's the only way you can find that out about. But like, that was a little weird.
And that like that black lady that they had on, that like they're proud of where they live, and if a car was sitting for 6 weeks, there are going.
Yeah, but that's easier to say than prove.
Yeah,
like. How she's not gonna remember that many years ago if a car was there, because like maybe that week those 6 weeks they didn't pay attention back then, or like she can't for certain say she would.
There was a lot of.
But
cars
I
do
think that does help them like a little bit if they get the grass back and all that. But her saying that doesn't prove anything.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. It's cool that she says that. It gives them hope.
Yeah,
maybe
but then the other thing is like with the windshield wiper, the windshield blinker.
Oh
they said that it was unscrewed. Because they said that the cops made it seem like, oh yeah, he strangled her in the car, and there was
that reminded me of Making a Murderer when they looking at the car and stuff was tampered.
Yeah. That broke because of the struggle ensuing of her strangling her, which, like they said, they got it examined, and oh no, it was intentionally unscrewed.
It'll be
like
it'll be interesting if anything like changes because of this. Because like they said, he got a retrial because of Serial. Maybe he'll get another one because of the case against that. But like. I don't know. It'll be interesting if anything happens.
He didn't get a retrial.
This is just airing now. I mean, after all these episodes air.
Like 2 days before the first episode came out, they denied his.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying is they allowed him to have one because all of Serial came out. I wonder if it'll happen again if more information comes out and people rally behind him because of this show.
Well, I feel like it's a pretty big topic. Like you can, like. You were sending me stuff like the day after we talked about it last week with like Twitter, just like random. They were interviewing the celebrities or whatever.
Yeah, and they were all saying if they thought he was guilty or not.
Yeah, like to me, it's a pretty big worldwide thing. Like like a shit ton, like 175 million people downloaded the Serial podcast, and I mean that was just at the time, and I'm sure it's over 200 million now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder. The thing that I don't like about these kind of documentaries is the same reason why I didn't finish Making a Murderer. Is
because you're not gonna necessarily.
You're never gonna find out the outcome, and like I know by the end of watching this documentary, all I'm gonna have is my opinion, and that kind of bothers me.
Yeah,
but it is fun to watch and fun to get into.
No, it is.
Like I think if we would have done something like this for Making a Murderer, maybe would have finished it. Maybe it would have been more fun.
I think the next episode is gonna be even better than this one.
Hopefully they just keep getting better. I mean, there's only 4 of them, but I do like us being able to watch it and come talk about it. It is fun to get into and all that.
It's even better when the internet works.
Yeah, it's a lot better when the internet works.
No shit. So do you think, does it remind you of The Night Of a little bit?
No. It's to me, I can see they maybe saw this case, got the idea, and then changed everything basically. Yeah. But I can see the inkling of the idea they could have got from this.
Okay.
It does seem similar. Any last thoughts people got? Anything else you guys want to say?
Free Adnan.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, subscribe, comment down below if you think Adnan did it or not. And what were you going to say, Hess?
This is a serious podcast.
No laughing. This is serious. No laughing.
Yeah.